All right, motherfuckers. That right there was Frayle. Fucking bad fucking ass, man. Fucking... I don't know about you guys, dude, but it's time to let the darkness in. And right now on the phone with me, I have the band Frayle. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how are you?
All right. So... So tell us what's going on in the world of Frayle, man. That is some badass shit that you guys are doing.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Right now we're getting ready to play our first show, so we're rehearsing. We made a band. We got other members besides just Gwyn and myself. And that's pretty much it. Also writing a full-length record. Forgot about that.
Nice. So this didn't start out as a full band. Tell us about that.
No, it started out just with Gwyn and I. I wrote some songs on guitar and started producing them a little bit, I guess, basic verse chorus, and then kind of forced Gwyn to start singing, I guess.
That's true. I'm kind of shy.
That's all right. Well, that's cool, man. So now you guys have a full band, so... You got like tours and stuff like that, or anything like that planned, or?
So we have a label in Europe, and we have a label in the U.S. And the label in Europe has been working really hard to get us over there on some of the festivals that are happening, and maybe book some days around that. And that might happen this fall, but more likely in the spring. So we're booking U.S. shows right now, just sort of to get ready for that, to support the EP, and then I guess the full length should be out by the fall too. Yeah, so I guess we'll be supporting that too.
Very cool. Now, this fucking record that we're listening to has a really massive sound. Like, it sounds like it's done in a really good studio. And I mean, what can you tell us about that? Like, what was the recording process like? How'd you guys?
So I spent years, collecting gear and learning more about the production side of things. I was in a band in my 20s that toured a lot. It was like a hard rock band, and we started making records with that. And I was really interested in the recording process, so I kind of bought a couple mics, a long time ago, and over the past 20 years I've been just learning how to do it. So this whole record we actually recorded in our house.
Damn. So this was recorded in a house?
Yeah, but I mean, this is like a house that has guitar cabinets that I spent like months and hundreds of miles finding the right speaker to go in the right spot, and just going crazy on gear. So technology allows you to do anything these days that I think is equal to what the big labels put out, but you have to really spend time on developing what's in front of that microphone. So anybody can do anything in a computer, but you have to get good sound and information going in. So that we spent a lot of time, on that side of it, and I think that's what you comes across in the record from the EP.
That is badass, because I could not tell that listening to the record. When I listen to it, it sounds like anything else that you would hear that it doesn't sound like anything else, but the quality sounds like something that you would hear coming out of a fucking studio. But
yeah, he was totally obsessed. Like, literally, do I move the microphone over a quarter of an inch, or does it go the other way? Or and it's ridiculous how much Sean's been obsessed with this since we invested in Logic. I think around holiday time last year.
I've been kind of recording nerd stuff. I was a Pro Tools guy forever, and then Gwyn bought me Logic for Christmas, and I just went crazy. And now I can't stop. We spend all our time, either rehearsing or writing new songs. And we're really happy with just how the EP came out, and kind of surprised almost by the response it's been getting.
Oh yeah. So I got a question from the chat room. Thunderous wants to know, where are you guys from?
Well, I'm originally from Canada, but I've been in Cleveland for, a long, long time. And Sean's from...
I'm from Ohio, so yeah, we live in Cleveland right now, in the east side of Cleveland, so Cleveland, Ohio, USA.
Right on. So what's the local scene there in Cleveland, Ohio like?
So I've been kind of out of it for a while, honestly. I mean, Gwyn and I, we own a business together, and it keeps us really busy, so we don't have a lot of time to go out and see shows. So I'd say that, you know, when it comes to like horror music, there are some like doomier, heavier bands around here. I don't feel like it's as strong as it used to be on the heavy side, and I could just be out of touch with it. But it seemed like in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a little bit more of a concentrated scene happening, and now, you know, I don't know how many heavier bands there are. There's a lot of good bands that are in different genres, but when it comes to like heavy doom kind of, you know, stuff that I think Gwyn and I are really into, there's not a whole lot, I think.
Right on. What kind of business are you guys running, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, we have an apparel company, factory, so we basically develop and create clothing for people.
Yeah, for friends from all over the world. Like, we have sewing machine operators, and, you know, we do a lot of cut and sew and things like that. So we develop stuff for clients that are startups, and also we're working with some of the biggest companies in the world right now, you know, global projects and that kind of thing. So it's a little bit of everything, but it's all about developing apparel, and not just screen printing. We're actually doing the cut and sew and sourcing fabric and finding different factories that, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right on, man. So if anybody wants to check that out, where should they go?
I made it really easy. It's called thepatternmakers.com. So just thepatternmakers.com, and that'll give you like an overview of the apparel development thing.
Awesome. Okay, so how long have you guys been doing this, and exactly how did it get started?
Well, like I said, Gwyn bought me Logic for Christmas, and then I kind of went crazy. And I think that also kind of coincided with me. I stopped drinking in like October, just kind of out of the blue. I was like, I'm tired of hangover, so I'm gonna stop drinking. And with all this like sober energy, I had to go somewhere. So I think by the time Christmas came around and Gwyn got me Logic, I just went crazy. And so that started it. I think just writing riffs and getting back into music and trying to figure out like what do I have to say these days, you know, when it comes to guitar or melodies or riffs or whatever. And then Gwyn started singing. I forced her to sing in a song. It was so funny. Like, she made me go downstairs. Like, I was allowed to be in the same room. She started singing, and then we did like a couple cover songs just to kind of like figure out like how loud does she sing? What does she do? What is a quiet voice? How does that work over heavy guitar? That kind of thing. And then through that, I think we're able to start to develop our own sort of sound, and then, you know, I started getting more gear, more pedals on the guitar side, because originally I'm a bass player, so guitar is a little new for me. But it kind of started from there. Like, she got me Logic, and I made her sing, and we gave ourselves a deadline. Originally, I think it was March 1st, but we blew that by a month. So we gave ourselves an April 1st to put out an EP and just do something with it, and so that's what we did.
That's cool. What cover songs were you guys doing?
So it's kind of funny. The first cover song we did was "Problems" by Lil Peep. He's like one of those SoundCloud rappers. Unfortunately, he died recently. But we thought it'd be unique to try to do, like, we like the vocal melody in that song a lot and some of the words. So we just made a simplified, heavy version. Did that. We're pretty happy with it. And then I think we started messing around with Wandering Star, and that's where we which is a Portishead cover on our EP now, and that really got us going, and I think got Gwyn confident in the fact that, okay, you know, I can sing over heavy guitars, and then I was just like, okay, here's 1,000 riffs, sing over all this stuff.
It just kind of solidified the direction that we wanted to go into as well, like kind of because we played around a little bit at first with kind of, do we want it to be doomier, heavier, do we want it to be a little bit lighter, and then we just decided, no, we definitely want it pretty freaking heavy and you know, just nice light vocals over top.
Oh yeah. Got another question from the chat. Oni Monk wants to know, how long did it take to do the first video shoot?
Well, we're still actually doing that. We're going to finish that up tomorrow.
I think he's talking about the teaser video, because we've been sharing that.
That. We just went out in the woods by our house and shot that, and it was like Gwyn had a totally different outfit, but it was so cold that she ended up having to wear that like fur hat. So we were going to put a lot more effort in that, but she was so cold and it was like wet that we shot that in about 20 minutes, I guess. And then now we're working on like a real video that we did a bunch of stuff already with Gwyn, and then tomorrow we have the full band. But that teaser, yeah, we just did that together in like 20 minutes of shooting and maybe like another half an hour of editing to try to just figure out like what we want it to look like. But we're really excited about the video that we're working on right now, because like I said, it's a real video. That's
awesome, man. I can't wait to see it. Another question from the chat. Thunderous wants to know, are you guys a couple?
Yes.
We got engaged in October.
I could kind of tell, but I didn't want to say anything, but right on, man. That's cool as shit. So, fucking the band name Frayle, how did you guys come up with that?
Well, I think...
Yeah, we kicked around a couple names for a while. We had this Latin, Spanish name for a little bit that was kind of spooky, and then we just I wanted something simple. Like, I'm always a fan of like the shortest amount of letters, just because so many things have been used or taken. And once we started kind of getting some direction, I think we didn't come up with the name until after we had a couple songs done, and we just thought about how Gwyn's voice sounds so small over this like really thick and it's heavy that I can possibly make them guitars, and it's almost like Frayle, but it's like when you look at the way that we spelled it kind of, to me, it makes that the definition of Frayle kind of changes it for me, the spelling, into something that's, I guess, like a lot stronger. Almost like I think of like chainmail. That probably sounds silly, but it was like the idea of what Gwyn's vocals are doing with the guitars, and trying to find a word that we can play with the letters a little bit to come up with something that, I guess, sounds like the music sounds, or whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it sounds really cool because the music is so heavy, but then the vocals are just beautiful, man. It's the way that they mix it's just perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. So you guys have never played live before, right?
I was in a band that toured for a long time, like probably 10, 15 years. So I have a lot of experience playing on stage. I think this will be Gwyn's first show, right?
This will be my first show on stage. I was in a garage band a gazillion years ago, but we just never made it out of the garage. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and we have, I'm really excited, like a really good friend of mine, Frank Cavanaugh, he played bass in a band, Filter, and they're also from Cleveland, and we've always wanted to work on a project together, and this one seemed like a really good fit, so he's going to be playing bass. And then got a drummer, Pat Gilney, is a good friend of mine from Cleveland, and Will Ripper on guitars, due to Elliot Rosen. So we're excited about, like, the lineup's pretty strong, and we've all had, like, Frank's obviously toured the world a bajillion times with Filter, and we all have a lot of experience on stage, but like I said, it'll be Gwyn's first time.
That's badass. So, for people that are coming to see you guys live soon, what can you tell them to expect?
Well, one of the cool things that I'm most excited about is we're starting to get Gwyn some pedals, like some effect pedals for her voice. So she's going to be like kicking in and out of doing like spooky low, like demon stuff, like different. I don't know. It's just, I think her vocals are going to be really exciting live, because the record we were able to, you're able to put layers on things and use crazy effects that make it sound like there's, I don't know, a tribe of witches surrounding Gwyn. So I think we're trying to figure out how to do that live, and I think we're making progress. So I think that's one of the most interesting things going to be, like, hearing what her voice does live. All from stage, too. It's not like we have like a pro sound guy that's able to turn things on and off. It's like Gwyn going to be kicking pedals and whatever fancy shoes she decides to wear.
Hell yeah. Another question from the chat. Thunderous wants to know, what are your influences?
Wow, they're really varied. I mean, I really like, we're both big fans of Sleep. We're both big fans of, I'm probably a bigger fan of Portishead and Blonde Redhead and the more trip-hoppy stuff. But we both, like, right now, Beast Wars gives me goosebumps, like, to no end. I could just listen to that all bloody day. And Sean, if we listen to Dope Smoker like 4 times a day, that's a light day.
Yeah, that song, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that song, but it's that song that's lead to that's like an hour and 7 minutes, an hour, 8 minutes of like just pretty much the same few riffs just forever. And we play it at work, and the girls are like, "Oh great, there's that Viking song," and they always talk about it. They just think a bunch of picture a bunch of Vikings, but yeah, we like really into sleep and heavier guitar, like super mid-heavy guitar-driven music. Beast Wars is another great band, I think, from New Zealand. I don't think but they're like the last record they did it's so good, and like the guitar tones stop sounding like guitars and sound more like just rock scraping on the ground, which I'm a big fan of.
Fuck yeah, man. And the new Sleep record, what do you guys think about that shit, man?
Okay, so I love it. And I love the way that they released it, incredible. And then the new song they put out, like I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Just don't tell anybody. Just hey, there's another 17-minute song, whatever. I think it's really good. I'm going to say that I like the music part of it more so than the vocal part of it, but still as a whole, I think it's amazing. And that, like the last song, The Botanist, like the opening, like 40. That song is just like the heaviest thing ever.
It is, man. It's pretty ridiculous. I love it, dude. So, as far as band information, you got any merch or anything like that available for people if they want to find out out info, or where can they go?
So right now, the only thing we have available our own is the digital sales on Bandcamp. We have the pre-sale going on with our U.S. record label on Bandcamp, which is Seeing Red Records. So if you go to Bandcamp and search Seeing Red, you can do pre-sale on the CD version. And our European label is Lay Bare Recordings, like Laybare Recordings. The vinyl, they're doing colored vinyl, which will be available in Europe and in the U.S., but that won't, I think we're getting a test pressing hopefully this week, and then that'll come out July, August, something like that. And then the CD, I think, is June 20-something, in the 20s, I think. So CD in the U.S. first, vinyl will be second for the EP, and then right now there's digital on our Bandcamp, which is like Frayle Bandcamp, and then also pre-sale for the CD on Steam Red's website.
Awesome. All right, well, what kind of plans do you guys have for the future coming up next?
Live shows, probably buy some more gear if allowed to. And really to get over to Europe. I mean, when you look at our Bandcamp sales and where our traffic is pointing, it's just showing us like that Europe is really excited about what we're doing, and we'd like to get over there. And then, I'd love to support in the U.S. too. It's just, it seems like Europe might be the first big move, I think, for us.
But we're still doing the States, like, coming out probably before we get to Europe. Like, I think we've got maybe something solidifying for July in...
Oh, no, that is for sure, yeah. So,
in Michigan?
Yeah, Cleveland show, June 29th. Ypsilanti, Michigan on July 27th. And then we're working on opening for, like, a bigger band in back in Cleveland in August. And then hopefully, by the fall, we'll be able to jump on a few dates of somebody's little tour here or there.
Badass. All right, well, I'm about out of questions for you guys. Is there anything else you want to add to let the people know?
So I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm happy to hear that you like the tones of the record, because we spent a lot of time on not just melodies but also the tones. And the LP that we're working on right now, in my opinion, is leaps and bounds better than than what the EP is. So I'm really excited about like what that when that record comes out, and what that's gonna this response that'll get, because we're really excited about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be deeper and lower and heavier.
Yeah, never enough heavy.
Man, I can't wait to hear it. All right, well, thanks a lot for taking the time, and before I let you guys go, I got to get you to make a station tag, all right?
Sure.
All right, whenever you're ready, say something like, "This is Frayle, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio."
This is Frayle, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to crank up some more Frayle so these motherfuckers can go nuts, all right?
Awesome.
All right, you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
There you have it, folks. Fucking Frayle on the Zach Moonshine Show live with Metal Devastation fucking radio. Crank it the fuck up loud as a fucking. Put your speakers in your fucking windows. Put them in your front lawns. Put them wherever the fuck you can. Make motherfuckers hate you, man. Actually, they probably won't hate you from after listening to this. They're gonna love it, dude. You probably won't see you all trucks in the morning after this because they're gonna fucking love this because it's fucking good, dude. This is badass. Crank it the fuck up, man. I'm serious.